Who says 40 cal doesn't work? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11 coming back at you. Well, this is our second range test with the Sig Sauer P320 40 Smith & Wesson pistol with the compact medium frame. We're going to be shooting some 180 grain 40 Smith full metal jacket brass ammunition at 4 different yards. That's going to be 5, 10, 15, and 20 yards. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you know that I've actually range tested this. I've tabletop reviewed it, disassembled it, and cleaned it. So why am I back here for a second range test? The trigger, that's right. This one has gone back to Sig for the factory replacement trigger. The drop safer trigger, as I like to call it, not necessarily the drop safe trigger, because any loaded gun has a potential to go off if you drop it. But anyway, we're going to shoot from 4 different distances, and we'll see how well it performs. I just want to see if there's any difference in the accuracy, because sometimes if you change your trigger, you change your pound weight, it can affect your accuracy. Just going to see if I shoot it any better, see if accuracy is improved, and just kind of get a feel for the change in the trigger itself. I really remember this trigger being very crisp with a very tight break, very little play in the trigger before it would break. This time around, it seems to have a little more play in the trigger before it goes ahead and hits that wall and breaks. So we'll see if we notice a difference. We'll take a few shots, and then we'll compare the shooting footage from the previous range trip with this range trip, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so stay tuned, and here we go. Okay guys, so let's talk about this real quick. These were actually the first about 10 rounds that I put through the pistol. I was shooting just a little bit to the left on the first 3 shots. I kind of corrected and pulled more to the right. You know, it's a little weird. It's like, I don't know if it's just me or if it's maybe the sights need to be adjusted just a little tiny bit, but I was pretty much dead center. I really felt good. I was really trying to take my time on the pulls and stuff, and I really did stack up a few good ones. Now this was at 5 yards. Okay, this is just my initial practice shots. Now, when we started filming me shooting, we can go over here. You know, we're gonna have to compare this to the old footage, but it felt like it was about the same. Maybe I wasn't shooting quite so low this time. Exact same ammunition as before. You know, that's a respectable group. Considering I've only fired this gun a second time now, we're looking at maybe about the 100 and a little over 100 rounds I put through it total since I took it out last time. 10 yards, you know, we're still holding a fairly decent group, 30 feet, right? Not bad. A couple inches off the center. I mean, it is perfect for, you know, for defensive use. That would be within an acceptable range, I would think. 15 yards. All right, pay no attention to that. I'll get to that in a second. But 15 yards, I think I shot it a lot better than I did last time. And maybe it's confidence in me. Maybe it's the better trigger. I don't know. The trigger does feel about the same as before. Maybe just a little more travel before it gives this time. The pound weight feels about the same when it breaks. And then finally, 20. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a pound weight gauge, so I can't tell you the actual pound weight difference between the stock trigger and then the recoil trigger or the drop trigger, the replacement trigger. And then at 20 yards, I completely missed last time. At least now I got 1, 2, connected on paper, it's not pretty, but we're only talking about maybe 4.5 inches here. And then that last round, that third round, was a flyer a little bit to the left. You know, we're getting pretty far away from me. That's 60 feet, 20 yards. I mean, again, I must say, and this is after taking this to the range the second time, I thought maybe this was just me. It does kind of feel like the trigger has a tendency to slap your finger a little bit when you pull it. It could just be the shock of the 40, and I'm just not used to that because I tend to shoot just mostly 9mm. I know I'm a wuss, but anyway, yeah, that's not bad. So why don't we take it back and maybe we'll shoot a little bit of steel here, some steel targets, see if it performs any differently, and then we'll compare the footage of the old range test with the new one to see if there's a perceivable difference. If not, no big deal. If so, if you haven't turned your or sent your P320 in yet for repairs, you might want to think about it. All right, let's move over to the steel targets. All right, so let's take a look at my shots here. This is from December 3rd of 2017. It's been about 5 months since I fired this pistol. That was, you know, it's May of 2018 right now. Really, its grouping was not a whole lot different. In fact, it seems almost at 5 yards or 10 yards, it had almost better shot placement. But when you do match it up with the range footage we just saw here a minute ago, you can see that it's very much identical. Where you really start to notice the difference is when we take it out to 15 yards. The shots you see on the left, these 3 shots right here, these were the 15-yard shots that I did back in December. I definitely placed way better, keeping the shots on the paper this time, and did much better than before. And 20 yards is where we see the dramatic difference. Now, you can chalk it up to just simply more experience with the pistol, more rounds put down the pipe. But where things really get sad is over here at 20 yards. I completely airballed it. I missed completely the shots. One shot landed over here. I think one was up on the top. Another one was down below. I couldn't even put placement on it at 20 yards. So I think the trigger may help a little bit. It does feel... it feels about the same, but overall, accuracy, I would say it's improved, but then again, we could just simply chalk it up to experience. So you make the call on it. Again, probably just more experience. All right, let's go on. Well, guys, that's it. That's our second range test with the Sig Sauer P320. Now, this one has the revised trigger installed in it, the drop safer trigger installed in it, and you know, I didn't notice a whole lot of difference between the first time I took it to the range and the second. After looking at the footage, after thinking about it, you know, going back dry firing it, looking at the tabletop review, it felt about the same. Brakes about the same. Maybe it's got a lighter trigger pull, I don't know. The trigger itself may be lightened also, so it's less likely to have the inertia to pull itself back if it gets dropped. Either way, the pistol ran flawless today. We only did 50 rounds today on the second range trip. We did 150 rounds the first time we took it out and really had a good time with it. I did some slow shooting, some fast shooting. Accuracy, again, maybe improved a little bit, but it could just be me with a little more practice with this pistol. So anyway, guys, if you send it in, don't expect major changes with the trigger. Somebody might say they notice it. Sometimes it's mind over matter. Sometimes it's just your mind playing tricks on you. I don't know. But either way, don't worry about it. If you got to send it in, it's going to be fine when you get it back. I know this is really after the fact that a lot of people have already sent their pistols in, and Sig's taking care of those customers. So there you have it, guys. That's it. This is our second range trip. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Stan from SS Pawn, I want to thank you for loaning me this pistol again to take back out. I had a great time with it. I really do like the compact medium frame. It is comfortable. It fits my hands well. I just have medium-sized hands. We're all clear anyway. And it does, you know, it does a little bit of recoil, but it's not too bad. A little bit of trigger slap, but I'd really like to hear from you guys. Do you notice that kind of that punch back on your finger when you pull it with the 40 Smith with this particular pistol? Let me know in the comments section. But otherwise, guys, thanks for joining us today. We had a great time today. A lot more range footage coming up for you here. As soon as we hit summertime, we'll be at the range a lot more. And that's it, guys. So thanks for joining us. Please like or subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, also on Caliber Corner, which is a Saturday morning podcast that we do over on gunchannels.com. You definitely need to get over there, get yourself an account if you don't have one, and you'll really enjoy it. It's a great community over there. In the meantime, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And from the Rob Jeffrey Firing Range, the coolest shooting range in the Great Plains, we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.